Huddle up, everybody. I am Mitch Carr here from your WDBJ7 Plus studios. This is the Hometown Sports Huddle. We have a lot going on locally. We've got the Rail Yard Dogs in the playoffs, and you're going to hear from the goalie Austin Rodebush and the Rudebush. Don't let me mess that up. Also, the head coach, Dan Bremner, a little bit about their first-round series with Birmingham, the Bulls. That's a team that they lost 4 games to and only beat once during the regular season. And yet the Rail Yard Dogs are the number 3 seed in the playoffs, and the Bulls are the number 6 seed. We're going to have that in a little bit. But also, we've got right now on WZBJ 24, if you want to have that multi-screen experience, we have got the Salem Ridge Yaks, newly christened. Sometimes I want to call them the Red Sox. I know you're just like me. Hill City Howlers, the Lynchburg Hillcats. It's all going to take some getting used to. But yes, right over on WZBJ 24, it began at 6:30, so I think we've already seen the first pitch. That is happening right now, the Salem Ridge Yaks, and we're going to have some more games for you on the Z. This is the last one for this week, but they'll be back on April 21st, and you can watch them then. We also have the Masters, a little tournament you may have heard of, a tradition unlike any other. I'm going to talk about Gary Woodland and some of the stuff that he's gone through, and you're also going to hear from Sam Burns, who is the leader after day one. He shot a 67, good enough for 5 under, good enough for the lead. But we are going to begin with the Rail Yard Dogs. They are in the playoffs. That begins tonight. They are playing in Birmingham. And the way that the SPHL playoffs work is that the higher seed will play the second game and the potential third and clinching game in a best-of-3 series at home. And that means that they have to go on the road to open the series even though they are the higher seed. And again, I mentioned that they were 1-4 against Birmingham during the regular season, and 3 of those games went to overtime. So this is a 3 versus 6 seed matchup. It's very, very even. And you're going to hear now from Austin Rudebush, the goalkeeper, the goaltender, and the head coach, Dan Bremner, about what they expect out of Birmingham. And also, one thing I love that the goalie had to say, Austin Rudebush, was that he loves home ice in the Berglund Center. So I'm going to play that for you right now, and you can enjoy.
Say.
Well, knowing him, he'll say something like just.
What's your mindset coming into this? Do you feel like you've got to play at another level?
Yeah, throughout the season, it's just you're so focused on remaining consistent throughout the year. So doing that all season long, that's what I'm going to be focused on, carrying it into the playoffs.
You've seen enough of these playoff battles. What do you think is the key to have a successful playoff run?
The key is just everyone pulling the rope together, sticking to the process that coach sets for us, and being physical, executing, doing the little things.
What did you do in Peoria to win 2 games? That's like a house of horrors a lot of times for you guys. But what did you do there to win 2 games? Can you use that as sort of a template, at least for this series?
Yeah, I mean, against Peoria, that's playoff hockey. I mean, that's a team that plays.
All right, sorry about that, folks. We have had trouble with this file, a little behind the scenes here, all week. We shot those interviews the other day, and we've had trouble getting them into our system. We've had trouble editing them. Sorry about that. The most important thing I can tell you, though, is that the Rail Yard Dogs are in action later tonight. We're depending on the station down in Birmingham to get us highlights, and they're not sure they're going to go. So we hope we can get you some highlights. Regardless of that, we have a photojournalist named Josh Britz who loves the Rail Yard Dogs, and he is going to a watch party at Bubba's 33. That's going to take place tonight, and they're going to be watching the game. And if you would like to watch the Rail Yard Dogs, you can go there. And if not, we will tell you what happened tonight on WDBJ 7 tonight at 11 o'clock. Now we're going to move on to the Masters. I want to tell you about Gary Woodland. Gary Woodland is a golfer who is most famous for winning the U.S. Open in 2019. But in 2023, he had a brain tumor. He was diagnosed with a brain tumor. And in dealing with that, he had to have it removed, but there were some other effects of having that brain tumor. He started to get paranoid. He started to get afraid. He was anxious. and they removed the brain tumor, and those impacts stuck around. He just started to feel like he wasn't safe anywhere. And this is somebody who plays golf. And so golf, you really have to be in the right mindset. You have to be out there and you have to be thinking, I'm going to focus on this shot. Well, Gary Woodland was out on the golf course surrounded by groups of people thinking that those people that are in the gallery were going to kill him. So imagine trying to win a golf tournament doing that. Somehow Gary Woodland did that. He won in Houston a few weeks ago. It was his first win in a while. And that, when you win, gets you an invitation to the Masters. And so Gary Woodland is back at Augusta National. And it's just an incredible story because what he overcame as far as the brain tumor, as far as the surgery, as far as getting physically ready to go back on the course, and then the mental part of it that is just beyond anything most of us have to deal with on a daily basis. We have a story now from Nick Proto, that's one of our CBS stations, has put this together on Gary Woodland and on his story. And I really want you to watch this because Gary Woodland, whether he wins or loses, is going to be somebody you want to keep an eye on as we move forward because just because of his story, I'm rooting for him.
We all go through things in life. We all go through things in life. It's part of the journey. For Gary Woodland, this stage of his journey started with a brain tumor in 2023.
My number one thought was I wasn't going to let this thing win.
The tumor didn't win. He had it surgically removed in September of 2023. The physical battle back to the course was hard, but the mental battle would be even harder.
I just don't have the luxury of looking ahead. When I'm not on the course, I'm in a battle, and when I'm on the course, I'm in a battle.
He was diagnosed with PTSD about a year ago. He kept it to himself for a while, but he says he felt like he was living a lie. People saw him. We all go through things in life. People saw him back on the golf course, but had no idea what was going on in his head.
I had a big battle Friday at Houston. I got hypervigilant, extreme on the 9th hole, and I battled the last 10 holes thinking people were trying to kill me.
The week of the Players, he decided to open up about his struggles.
And talking has helped me so much. This is honestly one battle that I'm not able to do on my own. I tried. It wasn't working.
He hopes by sharing his story, it'll spark a larger conversation.
It helps other people realize it's okay to talk about that stuff, to be a world-class athlete, and to go through all of that and be so open about it and be such a kind person.
His journey back to Augusta National only had one road, winning at Houston, which he did. While it helped punch his ticket back to the Masters, he hopes it had a bigger impact on anyone else fighting their own battles.
I hope some
All right, that was Nick Proto reporting from the Augusta station WRDW News 12 down in Augusta. Really great story there. I'm sorry it didn't get to play in its entirety, but just Gary Woodland and all the things that he's gone through, he is admirable. Watched him out there today, his first tee shot. I'm just thinking about the nerves that have to go through your body. How just incredibly anxious you have to feel. Think about when you step on the tee by yourself. Maybe you're with a foursome. Maybe it's family. Maybe it's strangers. You got to hit that first tee shot, and you're going, oh, no, I'm going to top this thing. I'm going to slice it. It's going into a lake. Well, okay, now imagine that you've got, I don't know, 400 people in your immediate vicinity, all on the ropes and in the stands around you. And imagine you're playing in golf's most famous tournament at golf's most famous course, and that's enough to make you incredibly anxious and scared all by itself. But now imagine that you've got this PTSD diagnosis. You are experiencing something that no other human is experiencing. You are seeing your fight or flight natural reaction is just in overdrive at all times. That's what he's dealing with. He had to go walk the course with the folks at Augusta National so that they could show him where the security was so that he would feel safe. And when he is in a situation in which he feels unsafe, he just has to remind himself, I'm at a golf tournament. There are people here. They want to see me play well. No one is here to hurt me. And yet, that's really not enough. So Gary Woodland's story is incredible. And I wish him well. And again, he shot a 3 under 69 today. So not only is he battling back just to be in this position to be able to play in this on this course in this tournament, he is doing well. He's only 2 behind the leaders. And speaking of that, the leader today, after today, is Sam Burns. Again, he shot a 5 under par 67, excuse me. And we have some sound from Sam Burns about how he played the course today and how he approached it. If you've been following us this entire podcast, you are aware that we are having some issues and some of the video doesn't always play out. So we're going to give this a shot with Sam Burns, and I'm hoping it works.
On this golf course, how were you mostly able to avoid that trouble?
Yeah, I think I drove it really nice. That obviously helps, and then just try to get the ball in the green as much as possible. As you know, it's difficult to chip around these greens, and so really just trying to give myself as many opportunities as possible today.
Played the par 5s really well today. How important is par 5 scoring on this golf course?
Yeah, I think historically, people who have success here have played the par 5s really well, and we were able to do that today, and so it's a good recipe around this golf course, and yeah.
Score aside, was this maybe the most solid round you've had here, or what?
Probably, yeah.
From an outside perspective, it seems like the course is playing maybe especially more firm than it has in recent years. What's your take on that after one round?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, I think the past few years we've gotten rain at some point in the week, early in the week, and you could definitely see it. Even from Monday to today, how much firmer the greens are, and they're only going to get firmer. So I think as the golf course speeds up, it only gets more difficult out there, and I think it's going to be a really good test.
Sam, this is obviously the position you would want to be in, but now that you're there looking down on the top of the leaderboard, does it relieve some of the pressure or maybe only increase it?
Like I said earlier, I think this golf course is so tricky that you kind of try to get lost in your kind of process out there and just try to execute. I feel like start thinking, in the past or in the future, this is not really a golf course you want to do that. So I think for me, just trying to go out and execute, have a good process, commit to the shot, and just be accepting of whatever happens.
The scoring average so far today is quite high. It's like well over 3. So what was the secret of your success?
I think just getting the ball on the green a ton is what I try to do, even if it was 30 feet. A lot of these hole locations, they kind of try to tempt you to hit one close, and you can make a bogey very quickly. And so, credit to Travis trying to kind of pull the reins back at times. So I think overall we did a good job of that today.
You laid up on 13. Can you talk about how you played that hole?
Yeah, I mean, I wish I could have gotten there too. Into the wind, I hit kind of a spinny drive and just couldn't get there. Just had to kind of chip it down there around the corner. And I was trying to get a little further up to the right to make the pitch shot a little bit easier, but was able to hit a nice pitch in there to, I don't know, 10 or 12 feet and hold the putt.
If ESPN asks you, hey, pick one of your shots today for us to put in the highlights tonight, well, which shot would you pick?
I mean, I would say my second shot into 2 was pretty nice. With the wind off the left, you know, kind of that back middle hole location, kind of played it up there 20, 25 feet left of the hole and kind of let it feed in. And it's obviously a nice way to start the day.
And what did you hit 3 with, or what did you hit?
That was a 6-iron.
No, I was real close. Good job.
You mentioned being patient. How much throughout your career have you had to work on that, especially at courses like this?
Every single day, probably. I mean, I think patience is something that you constantly have to work on, and you know, especially as someone who likes to compete and try to win, which unfortunately doesn't happen a lot. I think patience is a big part of not just golf but life. I mean, we're constantly inconvenienced by something, and so trying to be more patient is good for all of us, especially for me.
Do you feel like this course suits you, or you try not to think in those terms? Try to make everything work for you?
I mean, I would like to think in my head that a lot of golf courses do, but at the end of the day, it comes down to execution. It doesn't matter if it's you know, people would say, oh, the Valspar, like, it's perfect golf course for you. And it's like, well, yeah, I mean, if you execute, sure it is. If you don't, you know, you can shoot 75 pretty easily. So I think that's what it comes down to, really, to any golf course. But I think, if anything, these greens are similar to what I play on at home, a lot of slope and fast. So I would say, you know, that part of it I'm fairly used to.
What do you play on?
Squire Creek is the name of it. It's a Fazio, so big undulating greens.
We'll see where you are at the end of the day, but if you're still ahead, how would you stop yourself going to sleep tonight thinking, I'm leading the Masters?
I mean, I think, you know, when I get back home, you kind of forget about golf a little bit. You know, I have almost 2-year-old at home, and so really just, you know, you get to have the joy of being a dad and just hanging out with him, and so it's a really good distraction, and I'm looking forward to doing that this afternoon.
And in fact, Sam Burns is going to go to bed as the leader of the Masters. I should mention, though, he is not the sole leader. Rory McIlroy, last year's champion, this year's provider of the Champions Dinner, he is also at 5 under. We've got Kitayama at -3, Jason Day at 3 under, and Patrick Reed, also another former champion. He was at -5 at one point today. He's dropped back to 3 under. So those are the top 5 as I'm reading them right now. 2 guys at 5 under, 3 guys at 3 under. And it's going to be a great day of action tomorrow. And then on Saturday and Sunday, you'll be able to watch the Masters on WDBJ7. And I'll be anchoring the news. So we hope that you will join us for the Masters. We hope you'll stick around for the news at 6 and 11. And you can join us for 10 o'clock news over on WZBJ 24. That is going to do it for the Sports Huddle. We appreciate you showing up. I am sorry for the technical difficulties. We'll try to get those ironed out. And as I like to say, we'll try to do better next time. But thanks for huddling up with us.